Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Gail here from Gail's Glam Designs. I've got a quick tutorial on how if some of you follow me, you saw my post on my Nightmare um, Before Christmas altered skeletons. These are just the Dollar Tree skeletons, and I just popped the head off and put a wooden bead there, painted it, and glued some hair, and the rest is history. There's a video in my channel if you want to go back and look at that. But this, excuse me, the Nightmare Before Christmas inspired me to continue it from my Halloween, and I made a tassel that was themed Nightmare Before Christmas, and she is so stinking cute. I kind of did her a disservice because she's made from one of these ridged beads. And so she looks a little disheveled, but I guess that's kind of the point of Nightmare Before Christmas. But I still think she's so cute. And my idea is that she would dangle from a backpack or from anything you wanted to, a mini album, whatever. But I was going to show you real quickly how I created her. So I just had these ready-made tassels in my stash, and they were from a banner from the Target dollar spot, and it was like rainbow colored tassels. So this is the one that was closest to the color of her dress in the movie. And so for this demonstration, I'll just show you this. So I just took some of this wire in my stash from Christmas time at one of the big hobby stores. I'm not sure which one. But it's just standard thin wire, and all I'm doing is just breaking off a piece. So that's way too much, but I just threaded this wire through the top of the tassel, and this is the first time I'm doing this, so forgive me. I don't know how to look around the camera. I'm trying. Okay, so we made it through. So if you can see that, we put the wire through, and then you cut it to your desired length, and you string the beads on there, and then you paint it, do whatever you want to. I used some paint and some markers to create her face. Come on, are you gonna focus? Well, anyway, and then I had a bead in my stash just to create space for a neck. I used I had a tassel like this that I had cut up for her, and so I had leftover hair, so I just glued that to her with some hot glue, made it around her face. And for her arms, I used this same kind of thin wire, just doubled it or quadrupled it, twisted it like this, all the wires together. I just twisted them, and then that became her arms. This right here is a brad that I just had in my stash, a candy brad, and I just stuck it through the loops of her little hand, and then just pushed it, bent it down in the back so it won't poke out and stick the recipient. And so she's got her Halloween candy, and she's Halloween festive. And I also decided to put this on my tag flip, because I remember most tag flips have fibers, they used to call them, for those crafters who've been here a while. And they always included fibers on their tag flips. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. And I'm just using one of those jewelry findings that just grabs everything together. So you just gather all your ribbons in your desired order. You slide this thing over the top of them. And if I was being good, I would have a piece of silicone or something, and when I clamp it, it wouldn't get any marks. But I don't have that ready for my tutorial, so we're doing this on the fly. Everything looks pretty secured. We can go from the, oh, I missed a few things. That's what I get for rushing. Okay, so take two. We'll put these things in the mix. These fibers slipped out the back, so all I got to do is open this up, and I'll make sure to be grabbing everything. A little cheat I do sometimes is I staple it down here to hold it together while I'm working with the top. But as I said, this is one of my first tutorials, so I botched that. That'll go on the bloopers or outs once I get that technically involved. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is how to jazz up your paper. So I cut out shapes on my Cricut in various colors, or they're just plain. But to bring them to life, to make them look like real ephemera or images, I use my markers, my pens, and I draw on them. So this is the before. He's cutting a slightly lighter orange. And this is the after, just using my pens. And his whiskers, I use the fibers. I just cut off some of these fibers here and made some whiskers on him. And so yeah, just a black pen and a white chalk marker, and I gave him some dimension. He went from this to this. Now he looks like real ephemera. But anyway, so how I do that, give you a quick tutorial. Once again, working around this camera is a little disorienting. Okay, so don't want to mess up my white background. So all I do is I outline the body. If you go off, it doesn't matter because he's supposed to look a little messy anyway, because, you know, he's an alley cat. So I'm just outlining him all the way. And that is enough of that. I gave him a face, didn't I? So some eyes. I'll give him a nose, so I have a target for my whiskers. And there, that's the first step to him. Now, if I want to give him some dimension, I typically use my gray markers to give some shadow so that it can look like foreground and background. Because, you know, one of his legs would be in the back and the other one would be in the front. So the one that's darker is in the shadow. And so or the shadow might be under his tail here, because that's the underneath part, or the side of his neck and face here would have shadow from his head. So I go in and I put my shadows in, and if they're not dark enough, I just use a darker gray. So go on the side of his neck, under his tail, and under his leg. Okay. Then, to make all that look like something, you create a contrast. So where there was dark, now we create some light. So all I did was take my chalk marker and do some swipes, and where I think the light would hit, and then I just took my finger and dragged it in it, because this was a big splotch, as you can see. So this isn't quite big enough. I want some more highlight on him. So I've got it. If it's too much or too intense, I just blend it with my finger. I also neglected to make his bat collar around his neck black. So I'm just taking a regular, I buy a lot of pins from, excuse me, with TJ Maxx or Ross, whatever, those pin packs, just to have on my desktop for stuff just like this. So this is a marker, a pen, sorry, I'm not a marker, a pen set. It comes in various, come on, focus. Comes in various sizes. So this is a 0.5. I think it went from a 0.1 all the way up to a brush marker. But they work really well. So the only thing left I have to do now is give him some whiskers. So I just cut some off of this right here. Make sure I get I only need a couple of them, 2 or 3. And see, I have special scissors just for fabric, nothing else. So there we go. I've got a couple whiskers. I'm just going to get a dab of hot glue. I'm kind of twisting the whiskers. Sorry for being off camera. I'm twisting the whiskers together, the fibers, so that when I glue them down, they'll adhere. So I let the glue come to the tip, barely squeezing it. There, it's showing itself. Now, I put it down on the whatever I'm trying to glue, and you just get a little dab, not too much. Because I have broke another glue gun. Don't know how, why. The fine tips just don't last with me. Anyway, so I'm just gonna, it's such a small amount, it's not even hot. But I'm just holding it down while that cools down. And then I will trim the whiskers. Get my fabric scissors again, so we'll cut those down. And there you have it, the cousin to that guy. So this guy's in my swap, so he goes here, and he is secured with a altered witch's, no, what is that, a cauldron. You'll have to watch another video for how I did that. But anyway, so those are the to-do projects that I wanted to share with you guys today. I appreciate your time and your watching. If you can take the time and just like this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Just to recap, I showed you how I made the Nightmare Before Xmas tassel. I showed you how to alter your paper and make it look more 3D dimensional, ephemera-ish. And I showed you how to create a fabric tassel, kind of, sort of, but you get the point. Anyway, everyone, thank you for your time. Have a great life, and Gail out till next time.